Razavani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me on Zoom today, all the way from Canada, my man Lucas Prince BAHDI. Lucas, it's been a while. Firstly, how are we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just staying in shape, getting ready. My hands are healing, so things are looking good.
Before we talk anything boxing, I don't know what the current situation is with you guys over there in terms of lockdown and about going out and stuff like that. But how are things there? How's the families? Is everyone well and safe?
Yeah, everyone's doing good. Everyone's doing good. Um, as far as the lockdown, like as far as boxing, I mean, I don't see anything happening here in the next year. As sad as that sounds, um, it's not looking good for my province for hosting shows here. It's just everyone's just like sitting at home, right? So people are comfortable, and the government's just paying these people monthly, so nothing's happening. It's kind of just at a standstill.
When you say a year, what gives you the implications? It might take a year. We know the numbers are a lot higher in places like America, and they're running shows. In UK, the numbers are significantly higher, but they're doing shows behind closed doors. Is it because you need fans in the arenas there to kind of subsidize everything?
You know what, it's not even that, because I mean, I'd be willing to host a show and have just a pay-per-view event. Me and Phil, like, we're prepared to do that, but it's just the athletic commission right now is like MIA. Like they don't know what's going on. No one did their training. Like they're at a standstill, and they have no idea what's going on, or what the next step is. So it's been completely dead, and nothing's happening. They're not even trying to move forward on things and trying to push things to make something happen. So that's why I say a year. Like it takes time to get things going, and they haven't even done the first step yet. So
I know 2020 was a frustrating year for everybody because of the circumstances, but as a fighter, I know you were on a bit of a roll where you had 8 or 9 fights in kind of quick succession, knocking them all out. Let's not forget knocking them all spark out. Um, and then obviously, I think you managed to get a fight in around November time as well in Mexico, which obviously now makes you 10-0 and 10 KOs. How's the hand, first of all? Because I know you damaged it.
yeah, I mean the hands were real bad after the fight. Um, I mean, just the gloves that you wear down in Mexico, they're not good. Like they're actually terrible. And I mean, they've healed up pretty good, and I'm almost at the point where they're almost 100% again. So I mean, a couple more weeks, I'll be there. Yeah, like as far as 2020 went, obviously a dead year. I was lucky enough to get 3 fights in, probably one of the busiest fighters in the world, believe it or not. But yeah, so I was happy to get 3 fights while everyone else kind of just sat at home. Um, Now this as far as this year, I hope to have a fight hopefully in May. I want to have a busy year this year. I missed the first 5 months, starting in May, but if I could get five fights, maybe 6 fights this year, I'll be really happy with that. So I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. Like I said, I don't think much is gonna happen in Canada, so I'm probably gonna have to travel internationally. Well, whether it's the States or back in Mexico, I'm not too sure, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get some fights.
But the key thing is obviously to stay active, keep your mind, your body in shape, psychologically in the right frame of mind, because you just don't know when these big fights will come. So you're willing to travel wherever necessary to make the fights happen.
Exactly. Whether, like I said, whether it's the States, whether it's the UK, I don't care wherever I go. Like one of these big promoters, they gotta see me eventually, right? I mean, hopefully they wake up sooner or later. But these guys like Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, whoever. I mean, it's just a matter of time before one of them picks me up. Um, I mean, I place myself in the top 10 in the lightweight division, no doubt about that. I'll be fighting these guys very soon. In the next year, you'll see me in that. They call it the top four kings, right? In the lightweight division, they got Ryan Garcia, uh, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez. I'll be in that mix very, very soon. You guys are gonna see me. I guarantee it.
Lucas, just about that, we'll come on to those four names that you just mentioned. Last week, we had a fight here in the UK in the welterweight division between a British fighter and Josh Kelly, and he fought a Russian um, in Avanesian. I'm not sure if you watched that fight. Someone like Josh Kelly, who's very well known for his amateur pedigree and his style, and being able, being predicted to predicted to go on to become a world champion. He in his 11th fight, he went in there with someone who's quite experienced and knew how to handle himself in the ring, and lost that fight. So, for yourself, do you look at, you're 10-0, relatively got age on your side yet. You're not getting old just yet, and you've got time. You don't have to rush for those big fights. Or are you one of those that you just want to go in there and mix it in with them now?
Well, you know what? I want to build myself a legacy. I want to be known. Like when people talk about boxing in Canada, I want to be the first name that comes to their minds. And for me to do that, I got to start now. I got to start winning titles and climbing the ranks, and eventually winning titles in multiple divisions. And for me to do that, I got to do it now. I just turned 27, so I'm getting right into my prime. I'm feeling good, and like I said, I belong in the top five.
Let's talk about some of those names that you just mentioned. Let's start with Teofimo Lopez. He dared to be great. A young 23-year-old went in there with a very experienced in terms of amateur record, and one of the pound for pound fighters in Lomachenko, and he went in there and nullified him and beat him in the ring and became the undisputed champion. How did you assess Teofimo's firstly his performance against Lomachenko?
His performance against Lomachenko was picture perfect. I mean, he knew exactly what to do. He executed his game plan. Lomachenko was, obviously he wanted to take him into deep waters, and he just started way too late. Lomachenko had a terrible night. Not taking anything from Teofimo Lopez, he had an incredible night. He fought an amazing fight. He used all his advantages, and he took away everything Lomachenko has to offer. And he kept him at bay, took away his angles, hit him to the body, and pressed the fight. And it's exactly what he needed to do to win, and he got the job done. I mean, it's a great performance on his part. I mean, he's a lot bigger than Lomachenko, but you know what? Like when he goes in there with someone like me, I'm a lot bigger. I could crack. So it's when you get hit with a solid shot, your game plan changes. So like I said, he had a game plan. He executed it right. But with a guy like me, you get caught with a shot, your game plan's changing. I guarantee it right on the spot.
A lot of people, like I said, are talking about those four names and the four kings as they are known as. But where does Lomachenko fit in now? People, unfortunately, we live in this world where when you take a loss, everyone thinks, oh, you are overrated, oh, you're not good enough anymore, you should retire, boxing isn't for you. But where does
Yeah.
Lomachenko, is he still a player in that division?
Yeah, 100% he does. 100% he does. He should be there as well. But he's just um he's at that age where he's not in the mix with the young guys anymore, right? Like all the top four guys that they're naming there, like they're all in their mid-20s. Lomachenko being in his 30s now, they kind of like just kicked him out of that group. Does he belong in that group? 100% he does, because I think he'll beat Devin Haney, and I think he'll beat Gervonta Davis, and I think he'll beat Garcia. So it's just one of those things. It's whoever the promoters want to see in that little bubble, that's who they're going to promote. And right now, it's not Lomachenko. Um, yeah, I know it's sad to see. You take one L and you're forgotten about. I mean that applies to everyone in boxing except Manny Pacquiao. I mean his people stay behind him, so he's always good. He's always an entertaining fighter. So I mean it's like I said, it's sad to see that, but that's just the way it is in boxing.
Early
People
this year,
give up on you after a win or after a loss.
absolutely. Early this year, we saw Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia, and everyone thought Luke was the superior fighter in terms of boxing IQ. Luke's been in there with Linares, with Lomachenko, has got the experience, and Ryan Garcia are not really known to be on the same level. People are saying as Luke Campbell, quite inexperienced, but Ryan went in there and proved everybody wrong and showed that he also had power. Did Ryan surprise you in that fight?
Ryan definitely surprised me that fight. Um, I mean, I think the coach in his corner won him that fight. I mean, obviously, it makes a huge difference when you have someone in there that is smart enough and intelligent enough to tell you what to do and to make the adjustments that you have to throughout the rounds. Obviously, his camp with Canelo, did him amazing, and Luke Campbell. I mean, he caught him with that huge shot, dropped him, and he just couldn't capitalize. I mean, I'd like to see what would happen against Garcia when he's in there with a puncher. Um, but as far as Garcia's performance, he surprised a lot of people. Um, he showed resilience, he showed balls, and he got the job done.
Devin Haney looks like he could be fighting Jorge Linares. We know Jorge has suffered quite well, has a few defeats on his record, but still a very skillful, a very experienced fighter. And Devin is almost the same, very skillful, uses his boxing IQ quite well. Is that a good fight for Haney? And can Linares cause an upset?
100% Linares could cause an upset. I don't even consider that an upset. Linares is an amazing fighter, um, as well as Devin Haney is. But Devin Haney, he hasn't made that jump to world class yet. He hasn't fought a world class fighter and beat a world class fighter. In my opinion, Lopez and Garcia, they made that jump. Garcia fighting Luke and Lopez fighting Lomachenko. And even what's his name there?
Javante.
Gervonta Davis. He's fought at the world class level. So
Yeah,
Devin Haney, this is his next step. This is his big test. Where if he wins, then yeah, 100% he belongs in the top 4. But he hasn't proven himself like the rest have. Um, it's going to be an interesting fight. You know, I know he beat what's his name, Gamboa, but I mean that Gamboa is old. You know, he had an amazing career. He was an amazing fighter in his prime, but he's old. He's washed up. I mean, I would take him out guaranteed within 6 rounds. Guaranteed. I would knock him out quicker than Gervonta, than anyone has. Um, but yeah, like I said, this is his jump. This is where he has to show the world that he's world class. And if he doesn't, then I think he'll get forgotten about.
With all 4 of these fighters being with different promoters, Devin with Eddie Hearn and DAZN, Ryan with Golden Boy and DAZN, same networks, Tiafimo with Bob Arum, ESPN, and then obviously Javante with Al Heyman, PBC, Fox, etc. Do you feel like these fights are just not going to be made? You know, they're young, of course, and sometimes promoters and managers get in the way to say, let the fights marinate, let them build. But why not have them now? Why not have them while you're young and fresh? And who says that there has to be one fight? You can go on to fight each other 2 or 3 times. You're young fighters. Most of them are 22, 23, 24 years of age.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get it. I just, the sport's been doing this for so long where, they prolong these super fights to where like their guys are out of their prime by the time it happens. So I know, like it's sad to see. It's sad to see because like you even got like Terrence Crawford and Spence, right? Like, I mean, how much longer could they prolong that fight? I mean, they did it with Floyd and Pacquiao for so many years. It should have happened 10 years before it actually did happen, right? So it's I don't know. I think they're gonna prolong it as long as they could. They got these young guys and they could just keep making money off them and keep building those potential fights. But I just hope everyone's in their prime when it does happen.
So Lucas, I'm not sure if you saw today, we had the purse bids for Teofimo's mandatory defense against Cambosos, which his promoter Bob Arum lost. I think Bob put in about 2.5 million, Matchroom about 3 million, but it was actually won by a organization and promotional company called Triller, who put in a bid of 6 million.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously now that means he doesn't fight on Top Rank. So is this an indication, if the money is up, if the money is there, fighters are prepared to leave the network and fight on another platform?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, and the fighters have to look out for themselves. They can't be, loyal to a promoter. If we're risking our lives in there, I mean, we got to be a little bit selfish. We got to do what's best for us. And I mean, I definitely don't blame them if that company outbid everyone else. I mean, it is what it is, right? That's hilarious, though. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Um, yeah, with Camboso and Lopez, I don't think that's a good fight for George. I mean, honestly, I fucking lick my chops when I see George. I think I would put him out. He doesn't have the power to keep me off him, and he's just one of those guys that I would end in within 5-6 rounds.
So
I think that's a great fight for Lopez. Lopez could crack. It is what it is.
well, Teofimo is happy either way. He's put on many tweets tonight saying £6 million, $6 million from Triller, goodbye world. So he's obviously a happy man. But from your perspective, out of those four, if there was one you could fight tomorrow, who would that be?
You know what? It'd be Lopez. It'd be Lopez. Right now, he's like the king of the division. He beat the pound for pound guy. He beat Lomachenko. If there's one guy, I would want to fight Lopez, 100%. Like I said, I'm here to make a statement. I'm here to create a legacy for myself, and the only way I'm going to do that is if I fight the best. I'd love to fight Lopez. I think it'd be a great fight. I'm not a guy that he's going to be able to bully around, right? I'm a guy that can match his power. If not, I could punch. I'm probably a bigger puncher than he is. The world just yet to see it, and I would love it. I would love that.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Before our internet crashes again, appreciate you jumping on and giving me a few moments of your time, and we'll certainly look out for when you're out next and catch up with you very, very soon.
Beautiful. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you having me. And hopefully, I'm in the UK soon enough.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, one of these promoters wake up.
100%, absolutely. One day, definitely. Lucas
That's it.
BAHDI, IFL TV, thank you very much.